Thank you, Dr. Tejas, for this wonderful introduction and kind words. You've been a great support for me right from the days we started the first ophthalmic practice development conference, because one of the most successful group practices I saw was of Dr. Tejas in Ahmedabad. Though this concept of group practice is being talked about a lot, and whenever in conferences we all rave about group practice, the benefits of group practice, and how beneficial, how useful it's going to be to the youngsters. But still, how many actual group practices are in existence, and how many group practices are actually surviving is a question mark. So, because in India, let's say if there are 6,000 practices, 6,000, 7,000 individual ophthalmology practices out of the 20,000 ophthalmologists in India, but the number of doctors who practice in a group is very minuscule. Maybe I will say it's less than 100 or maybe 200. So the number is very less. So maybe there are reasons why these group practices are not coming up, or is it a mentality issue, or is it a financial issue? There's a lot of things are there. I think the previous speakers covered in detail about the various aspects of the group practice. But the topic given to me was how to convert your practice from a solo to a group practice. So I would like to start with the quote of Mother Teresa. This is a very interesting, close to my heart quote, where she says, "You can do what I cannot do, and I can do what you cannot do." So it's a very simple statement with a lot of meaning, but together we can do great things. So that applies to a lot of ophthalmologists also. Individually, the skills which I have may not be with Dr. Tejas, or whatever Dr. Tejas has may not be with me. So when we both join together, we can do great things. But we have to find out an amicable way to join together, and that's what is a group practice. So, but over the last, I think this COVID pandemic has brought in a lot of good things, basically because I see a lot of practices which are now coming into as a group practice. And just give me 1 minute. Yeah. So actually, I was speaking with two ophthalmologists yesterday and today, and was very happy to know, like, there was one ophthalmologist from Kerala. So he has actually started a venture. So he runs 2 eye hospitals, and then he said, "Now I've actually joined with another 4 doctors. We've invested money to start a center in Cochin." And then there are 2 other doctors who are also partners working in that center. So that's one ideal model of group practice, where the 2 doctors who are working look at it as an employment opportunity and also a business venture. But for this ophthalmologist is already running 2 centers, it's like an investment opportunity for him, and he said that is running well. So, and today morning I was speaking with one ophthalmologist from Coimbatore. So he said, like, over the past 20-30 years, he has opened out a center where other doctors come and use it for the surgical facilities. So they come and do the surgeries there. And he said around 10 doctors are coming and using it. So there are multiple these kinds of group practices which are happening already. Maybe even if a husband and wife join together, I should call that also as a group practice. Or if you are in a family where there are 3-4 people who have joined together, that is also a group practice. So multiple formats of group practice already happening, but unrelated people joining together and starting a group, I think that the number is always lesser. And how do we increase the number of practices? And this pandemic situation has actually forced us to consider group practices, because cost of investment and the return on that investment is not that great when you individually invest. So this presentation is going to, whether it's a solo or group, it basically depends on your personality. I think it's the most important thing. Whether are you a group kind of a person, or are you a solo? Because many of us are also having this personality where we cannot work together in a group. Say, Let's take the example of a tour. So few of us are okay to go as a family tour, only with our family, but we never like to go for tour as a group. But there are other people, 10 families join together and go as a group. So it personally depends on your personality. I think that is the main thing. But this talk is assuming that you have decided to get into a group practice, and what are all the things which you have to do to get into a group practice. That is going to be the focus of this talk. So, as Dr. Reshma said, finding the right partners. I think the people who are going to travel with you in the bus where you want to reach the destination, I think it's very important to find the right partners. Some tip I can give, some because of my experience seeing a lot of these group practices. The right partner should be of equal chemistry. So basically, groups where 2 or 3 classmates are joined together, or 2 or 3 people from the same college are joined together, that is running well. So basically, they don't have too much of differences in terms of age, or so either join people who are from your same college or same background or same classmates. I think that group works well. Second thing is a group of hospitals floated in Andhra, where these are all from alumni of Arvind. So all the doctors are basically from Arvind. And then I also know a corporate chain, which is an alumni of AIMS, where 3 4 doctors join together. So there should be something uniting all of you apart from your own ophthalmology expertise. I think that will help to continue in the long term, because when you're friends or when you're classmates or when you're from the same organization, the culture helps you to move forward in the long run. I think it's important to find the right partners. Another type of group which works is junior doctors and one senior doctor, because the senior doctor kinds of mediates, and he kinds of has the last word on everything. So there is a senior partner and then 3 4 junior partners, but that also kind of works well. So I think finding this right partner, if you are able to get this right partner, most of your group practice journey is set. And then most of the time, the problem arises because as doctors, we don't want to have a strong legal agreement. So we should create a partnership agreement, preferably created by a lawyer or a chartered accountant. We don't want to spend money. I've seen a lot of doctors want to start a group practice, but they don't want to spend, say, 50,000, 1 lakh to create a strong partnership agreement, because this is the guiding document which is going to run for the long run. So investing in equipments is important, but investing in a partnership agreement is also very important. And this agreement has to be co-created, like you all join together and create this agreement, spend 2 3 months structuralizing this agreement. This agreement is going to be the like the Bible for your group practice. I think you have to create a very strong partnership agreement. Third issue, basically, difficulty comes when people don't have a strong business plan. You need to have a business plan when you create a group. So why are you coming together as a group, and what is your turnover now, and then what is it going to be for the next 5 years, and how do you achieve it, and what kind of investments are you going to make in to get that turnover. You have to have a business plan, a book which will it's like a statement of purpose, kind of a book which will create every how often the group will meet, and every detail you have to jot it down on a business plan. Get a consultant to draft this business plan. It will also clearly define role and responsibility for each partner, and what are the breach transparency issues which will come. All those things will be in that business plan. So having an agreement is the legal document. The business plan is the strategy document which you should create. And other thing is, what is the rule of engagement for each partner? Maybe one of them is an oculoplastic surgeon, one of you is a vitreoretinal, or 2 of you are going to be working full time. So what is the rule of engagement for each partner, and how much time each of us have to put into that? And how do we meet every month? All those things, you have to set the rule of engagement. And among the partners, you also divide work, such as one of the partner will take care of HR, one of them will take care of visualization or the OT, one of you will take care. Though you're not trained to do that, but still at least you can be involved in that and get the experts to do that. But each partner will have a role to play in the managerial part also, apart from the clinical part. So I think it's important to set the rule of engagement for each partner. The other main issue or a thing which we don't do when we form a group is we don't hire a professional team. Basically, as doctors, we think we will manage everything. We don't need managers to control us. There's no need of a manager to control the group, but we need a manager to look things on a business angle. So we definitely need a managerial team who will actually work on the group, and maybe somebody for marketing, somebody for finance, somebody. It depends. I don't know about how much expenses it is going to take, but at least we should have a professional team. Why groups survive in America is because most of the work is done by the managerial team. The doctors do the clinical work, the managerial work is done by the business managers. So we should have at least one or two who will be doing that work. And a set of doctors who created a LASIK center, they were trying to do administration. When that happens, it is difficult. So, and this group started falling apart because that managerial talent to run the center was not there. So, as doctors, we are very good clinically, but we need to also dedicate good managers and hire a professional team to run the group for us. Other biggest problem we fail to do, or thing which we don't look at initially, is the finance part. So we all put in say 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs to start the group, but we don't look at the working capital. We don't look at what will happen if the business is in a loss. And so many groups, initially people enthusiastically join, say, okay, I'll put 20 lakhs each. But what happens is, if there is a shortfall each of the product each, they don't actually give, because they become jittery and they become anxious. They think, oh, is this business falling apart? Then some of the partners leave. They say, oh, I will not put any more money, I will walk out of the group. So so the working capital, the break-even point for this business, and then the finances have to be organized at the initial stage itself. I think that is important to sustain as a group. Another thing is governance. So how do we actually govern the group? Like, do we meet every month, and who looks at the accounts, and is the accounting transparent? And what about the patient? Is any partner taking advantage of patients, or is he being fed more patients? So there are lots of those governance issues also which happens in a group. So we need to create the rules for these governance, and then who will be the head for the group, or who is going to take care of this group initially. And then second year, how do we, let's say if there are 5 partners, how do we select the person who will be heading the group in the second year? I think that governance rules also have to be set. Most important is trust and transparency. That's how the group will run in the long run. If this is not there, I think there is no point in setting up a group. So how do we create the trust and transparency among the group members? And another thing is, basically, as a group, we are all going to work together, but the group which will sustain in the long run is also a group which plays together. So basically, it's not only earning money and working as a group, but are your families, are the members of the family of the group together, and are the children friends, and do you travel together as a group? And I think that kind of a familial bonding also has to develop within the group members. That is also important. And finally, let go. So maybe there are situations where you have to let go. Maybe one of the partner has to give away, or he might have to let go on something. If everybody starts fighting for one thing, the group might break. So we also should decide to let go. That is important if the group has to survive. And as Dr. Reshma was telling, how do we, on the day one of the group, we also should also plan to have a smooth exit. What if one of the group members die, what is his family going to get? What is the valuation he might get of his partnership in that center? Or how do we bring in a new partner? All those things we have to create the rules of exit. So let's say some of the group member wants to exit after 3 years. So you have a minimum period for
I
exit.
think you got it. Can
All
you
those
wrap it
things
up?
will come in the agreement, I think. Yeah. So I'm almost done. This is my last point. So basically in a group practice, it's going to be like a sharing economy, as the other doctor said. So you will be sharing resources, sharing the equipments and everything, which is the model which is being followed by all the companies like Uber, Facebook, Alibaba, and Airbnb. And coming together is definitely advantageous. And I think Dr. Tej just spoke about the different models of the group practice existing. And these are the common problems why the groups doesn't sustain. So improper structuring, lack of business understanding, maybe there are patient-related issues, trust transparency, and non-professional administration of the group, and there is no long-term group policy. The most workable model I've seen is a group of people join together with equal investment, equal stake, and equal work and equal share of profit. This is the idealistic group practice model which we can see. And these are some of the models which you can explore. A group of doctors using a facility in a corporate hospital, and these are maybe you can also form a group to set up a mobile unit. Some of the most successful group models in India and abroad, like Modern Eye Hospital in Nellore, Dr. P.L. Rao, Disha in Kolkata, and Dr. Tejas Shah, Jyoti LASIK Center in Bangalore. So yeah, these are my contact information, and maybe I think we can have some time for discussion. And thank you, Dr. Tejas and AIOS for giving me